Elite. I actually did that so wrong. I was supposed to play my access granted little thing first, but it is what it is. What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to another week of Access Granted, the pod stream. Your host, Mr. Antoine, is in the building as always. And as y'all can see, I got a special guest host in the building with me tonight. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, everybody. Full of energy. You know, it's Monday.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is a great Monday. I really got to really feel like I added an extra weekend, an extra day to the weekend, even though I actually worked today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I
Me
actually
too.
worked.
That's what I did too.
I'm gonna get paid for, all of the chilling and relaxing that I did today. I had a great weekend, man. Ended on kind of a bad note, so I'm gonna go ahead now and send my thoughts and my prayers and my condolences, and most importantly, my love to, I was about to say to the family of, but Kendra is married to my cousin, so technically Kendra is family. But I'm gonna send some love out to Kendra and Otis and Ayana and the whole family. We lost Miss Joyce yesterday morning. Not too much I'm going to say into that because I don't want to kind of like dampen the atmosphere, man. But I love me some Miss Joyce. I'm going to miss those kisses on Sunday. I'm going to miss being harassed to sing solos on Sunday. Now I don't have to sing solo now that she's gone. But it was amazing that service yesterday, Key, because we were about to go into business as usual, as Reverend Jackie was up, and then she just stopped, and made sure that we gave those flowers. And at the time, as far as we knew, Miss Joyce was still there and she was still fighting. And of course, we got the news, a little bit later. But man, when I tell you one of the nicest people, one of the most genuine people that you will ever meet, I love the energy.
Funny, man. Funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh, me and Mama Joyce used to cut up.
Hilarious.
I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said that because up until I went to see her Saturday, the last time I had seen her was at Tawana and Derek's wedding, and the assisted living home that she was staying in is actually right around the corner from where I live. So I told Otis and Kendra, y'all go ahead and go home. I'll take Miss Joyce home, and it was me and my son. And for that 15 minutes that we was in the truck, man, we cut up. I mean, she literally cut up until I got her in the house and closed the door behind her and said,
I believe it.
I love you. I'll see you Sunday. And, she was supposed to come home from the hospital, last week, but, things happened and, God had other plans. And in the position that we are, we don't question, those kind of situations and everything. But we definitely gonna send Miss Joyce home in style, man. We definitely gonna. I'm telling you now, the homegoing celebration is gonna be. We turning up. We gonna turn up for Miss Joyce one more time, man. I promise you, we're gonna turn up.
Yes.
The only hard thing I think for Kendra and Otis, once of course we get over that part, is the fact that she passed the day after their anniversary. So every year they're going to celebrate, their anniversary, they're going to have that stigma of, okay, this was the same time that I lost mom. And I really wanted to, I thought about this earlier, Key, because I remember you saying something about, we're kind of coming up on the end of Mental Health Awareness Month, which I believe is September. Is that correct?
Suicide prevention
month. But I also wanted to talk about the mental health part of that real quick, because I feel like as the season has changed and we're starting to get into the colder months, the winter months, the fall and the winter, I know for a fact that this is a time of year when a lot of people really start dipping down into that depression, and stuff. If you've lost loved ones and they're not around for the Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year holidays, you start to,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens to everybody, especially if you've lost them around this time of year. But even if, you lost them at another time, the fact that they're not here to be with you for, these holidays, especially when your family is close knit and you've always come together to celebrate holidays together. This is that time of year where a lot of people really start, slipping into depression. So really make sure you check on your loved ones, man, because like you never know when that phone call or that text or that just pop-up visit, hi, how you doing? I love you, just checking on you. That could mean the world to a lot of people, man. I just really want to. Yeah. So what's going on in your world real quick before we hop into the show?
Not too much, just working. I actually just not graduated. The graduation isn't until the end of this month, but I actually just completed a course to become a certified mental health advocate. So I got that done. Thank you so much. A lot of hard work, a lot of hours put in, but definitely worth it. And now I'm currently in coach class. So, between work and life and home and wife and kids and church and all the things, I stay busy. But I tell people all the time, I like to stay busy. Like, that's just what I do. If I have to slow down, I don't know what to do with myself. So
You just said coach class. I haven't heard that since I was in about middle school. Wow, coach class.
yeah. So I can do the life coach thing. More than
Yeah.
likely mental health life coaching. So all things mental health. So I'm super excited about that because
Okay.
it's needed. It's needed more now more than ever. So
Okay.
yeah.
And I'm real big into giving flowers, and I know that you also have another special day coming, and I
Yeah,
would like
yeah.
to share that if you choose to. If you don't want to share it right now, that's fine.
Oh, sure. My ordination service is going to be on Friday, October 21st, which is actually my dad's birthday. He passed away in March of this year. So super, excited to finally have made it to this place. It's been a little over 5 years since I started. So I'm looking forward to it, just humble, still feeling unworthy. I don't think a day goes by that, any of us don't wake up, sometimes feeling inadequate or unworthy of whatever the calling is, that's on our lives. But I just wake up every day, put both feet on the floor, and pride myself in walking in excellence every day, and so that's the goal. We can't be perfect, we'll never be perfect, but all we can do is spread love, joy, and kindness wherever we go. And so that's my motto. That's what I try to do.
I'm super proud of you. I'm going to congratulate you in front of the world right now because I know that
Thank
it's been a lot of work
you.
that you had to put into this. We just got the word yesterday that Pastor William A. Gray III is going to be delivering the word on that day. And those of us from St. Stephen's already know how exciting that night is going to be. So, I'm just looking forward to coming up there and singing a couple of songs that we got to sing that night. And then I'm sitting down and I'm ready to just, not only hear the word, but just, give you your moment, because I know how much work that you put into it and I'm really proud of you for that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
All right, man. I had a couple other things that I wanted to talk about, but I can't think of what they are right now. There's somebody else we lost Miss Geraldine, from St. Stephen's. So I wanted to give, our condolences to Miss Geraldine's family. And it was something else that I had on my mind earlier today, and I can't think of it right now. I'm not going to waste time trying to think of it because we had an amazing young lady in the building with us this evening. I think I met Tiffany 5 or 6 months ago, I believe. She was on this virtual event that our girl T Quest does quarterly called Sip and Sing. She came up and she killed it, and I was like, I gotta get her on acapellas and acoustics. I reached out to her. She came through and she killed acapellas and acoustics. As a matter of fact, I might show a little bit of that during the show tonight. And we've been tight ever since, man. We have become Lyft and Uber accountability partners. We are getting up and getting out and doing the things that we're supposed to do. But I'm just really excited to talk to her, man. Because like when you talk about someone that has a contagious personality, contagious energy, like we've never met face to face, but I can feel through, the airwaves every time we talk, the energy and the personality. She just oozes it. And then when you see her perform, she like, it's just like it's just like going to a concert, like literally right there. She giving me the praise wave right there. Cause she she came on the Sip and Sing the other day and she was like, I need to show y'all how to entertain. And she's dancing and she's singing. And I'm like, yo, this is man from Tiffany. So without further ado, let's bring my sis, Tiffany Jaye. What's going on, sis?
I wanted you to give me a little bit because I want to sing this song, but I'm trying to get the second verse really quick.
Oh, okay. You gonna start off the show singing for us?
Don't go nowhere, y'all. Don't go nowhere.
This is why I love doing this live, man, because you just never know what's going to happen. But anyway, while she's trying to get that together, oh, I thought she was giving the signal that she was ready.
I'm not ready. I was prepared, and I was like, shoot, he's talking to me now. I got to get ready, and I want to give you 100%.
I understand. Take your time.
Let everybody else that you're giving your flowers to, because it's a lot going on in the world. I will say this: we are not guaranteed to be old, but we are guaranteed to die. So you need to give your flowers to the people today, right now, because you don't even know if you're gonna wake up.
Exactly.
Close your eyes.
Absolutely.
I'm a true believer. I'm a true believer in that. Shout out to everybody that came out to 8x10 on Saturday night, man. Like I said on my post, as a fan of hip hop, I was going to be at that show regardless. Number one, because I have big support for the promoter, Reggie Ruckus, that puts that event on. But I'm also fans of people that were performing, like my man Blizzard, my man Shefford Bentley, Jay Royale, Guy Grams, and all of those dudes. My man You'll Never Know. So I was just going to be a fan. And then I found out the day before that Reggie needed a host. And I was like, bro, I got you. Just let me know what time you need me there and let me know, exactly what it is that you need me to do. And so to come out, man, and have an opportunity to, introduce people that you're really a fan of and to, actually sit on the side of the stage and watch it up close and personal. It was real. I wish your boy could have came through Saturday. I really wish he could have. He could have, like I said, there was, I think it ended up being 2 slots available. I could have got him on. I'm still on a high from when he rocked it out at Towson a couple of weeks ago. So I know he would have came through in that element and really, really shut it down. I know he came and did his thing. But, shout out to everybody that came out on Saturday, man, whether you came and you performed or if you were just there in support. The 8x10 is really a nice, intimate setting up in Federal Hill. And the one thing that I kept trying to tell people was that we had to salute Reggie for being able to bring hip hop to that venue, because it's not a hip hop venue. If you look up the 8x10 on social media or you look them up on the internet, all of the pictures and everything that you're going to see is some alternative kind of stuff. And I just respect the fact that Reggie is really, working on is key. You're here in Baltimore. You know what goes on in Federal Hill. It's a lot of stuff that doesn't pertain to us in Federal Hill, and that's just being 100% real. So to, be able to, I think he does this like maybe every other month now or something like that. Just to be able to bring a totally 100% hip hop set up there. I had my wife hanging out with me. My wife don't go to no hip hop shows because she already know it's gonna be a long night. She came and she hung out with me, and I think overall she had a good time. But it was just, it was a great night. And the thing I love about it is no matter what's going on, we always leave that venue in peace and love.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of other venues up in Federal Hill that lets out, at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's a lot of stuff going on. And
Right, right.
I'm gonna go on record as saying none of that stuff has anything to do with the hip hop audience that's leaving out.
Oh, that's
At
right.
that. You got police everywhere. You got fights breaking out on almost every corner. That has nothing to do with us. We leave that venue, and we
Yeah.
get to our cars and we go to our respective locations. And Tiffany's giving us the woo sign now. So
I think I'm ready. I just didn't want to mess up because I hadn't sung it in a while, and it has no music or anything to it. It's just like a doo-wop kind of thing right now. And I wanted to make sure I didn't make any mistakes, at least on my words, because I memorized it, but I hadn't sung it in a while. So I really wanted to express that when we get to that part of the show.
okay, I was going to ask. So, what part of the show is that? How do you want to start this off? Because I can get all up in your business, or we can.
I mean, if you want to start off with that, we can.
Yeah, go ahead and start it off now and break the ice for us. I mean, I do. I will tell you, I have a couple of videos tuned up, so we're definitely going to get into a couple of your videos. We're going to play "Calling Me," and we're going to play "Work for It." Two of my favorite songs of yours. But yeah, if you want to start off and do this, go ahead. By all means, the floor is yours.
Okay, bear with me. Just bear with me. All right, here we go. The song is called "Rules of the Game." All right. So it goes. First time in your life, you think you found the one, and then truth shows up. You look denial in the eye, say no way you can take peace of my heart and choose to walk away. Yes, I can do what I choose. Don't belong to you. It's over now, baby. Gonna get a life away. You're my number one for just one day. Yeah, these are the rules of the game. Yeah, what's on your mind now? At a standstill, free falling down. Say what you mean what you say. That you wanna be my baby, and you're not done playing games. You're my number one for just one day. These are the rules of the game.
Yes.
Is that original?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? What inspired that song?
Lord Jesus, the song, the lyrics is all in there. First time in your life, first time in your life, you think you found the one, and then truth could be he lied, truth could be he cheated, truth could be whatever. Truth shows up, and you gotta look denial because both of y'all lying or in denial. You look denial in the eye and you say, no way you can take a piece of my heart. And then you're going to choose to walk away. Oh, then what I said, I can do what I choose. I don't belong to you. Right? It's over now. And it's both. It's kind of like the first part, the woman is saying it. The second part, the guy is saying it, or the woman is saying it. I can do what I choose. I don't belong to you. It's over now, baby. Go and get a life away. Say, you're my number one for just one day. These are the rules of the game. Like, it is what it is. Like, I saw you and whatever. And then I come back and I say, what's on your mind now? I'm at a standstill. I'm free falling down. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That you really want to be my baby, but you're not done playing games. That's it. It's an actual situation that happened. And I was frustrated. I was flustered. I did not know what to do. And sometimes the best way to channel that energy is to like write it. And then when you come up with something that's so beautiful, you're like, oh my gosh, I think this was actually worth it. Because now I remember I put it online and a lot of people was like, yo, that's hitting home. And I said, yes, it is, because it's real. And what's happening now in my life is when you listen to songs, I used to, what was it? Here we are face to face with the memories that can't be erased. Although we need each other, things have changed. It's not the same. Right, Monica's Before You Walk Out of My Life, right? Remember I broke up with my ex last year. I sang that song. And for the first time, I got it. Cried, right? This is from way back when. I've been listening to this song. Then my dog died, sang the song. Oh, I got it. You know what I mean? Here we are face to face with the memories. Can't be erased. It's so real. So the people that write these songs, you know, just writing them, just to be writing them, somebody has to go through this. And it sucks and it hurts. And what I'm learning now is your trials and your tribulations in life they're not necessarily to break you, but they are to make you stronger. It sounds so cliche, but they make you stronger so that with the human connections that we have, we can continue to give our flowers, hug on each other, and let everybody know that you are not alone in this journey called life. We're going to be here. You hope and pray. Yes, we're going to be here. And while we're here, I got you, you got me. And so that's the inspiration of the song. It's an unfortunate situation. Somebody took advantage. But you know what? Whatever seeds you plant, they have to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's all I'm saying. Here we are.
Wow. Great way to start the show, man. Great way to start the show. The one thing that I've gotten to know about you in a very short time, because like I said, we literally just met
Just a few months ago, if not.
Like,
a few months, literally this summer.
Like 2 or 3 sipping sings ago, maybe 2 sipping sings ago. And the one thing that I've gotten to learn is that like you're very transparent. You don't have a problem with. No, you are. I can.
Depending on, you know, like on this platform, I wouldn't be like, yo, you know, but I let you know enough.
but like I hear,
maybe, right?
Say that again.
Vulnerable maybe is more of a, well, maybe transparent and vulnerable. I mean, they go hand in hand, right?
They kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
Whichever it is, I feel like you're okay with showing that side of you. I feel like you're okay with not being okay sometimes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It can't all be a facade.
Yeah. Bingo. That's exactly where I was going with that. Like sometimes in this world of social media, and I saw a great meme that someone put on Facebook one day. They said social media isn't always what it's supposed to be, and the word "post" was spelled P-O-S-T.
Right.
Because of the simple fact that 90-ish% of the people in this world, if you look at their social media posts, you would think that they're living in a fairy world, you know, out, in Zamunda, you know, they don't have any fairies in the world. And like, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes, like, I look at people's stuff and I'm like,
You sure? Like, really?
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this earlier today, and I almost posted this because the thought was on my mind so much. Like, I don't post everything on Facebook that's going on. I don't always put pictures of everything that's going on, because everything that goes on in my life isn't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be, and really, I'm at a point in my life now where if I didn't have this show, I probably wouldn't be on Facebook. I probably wouldn't be on social media at all if I didn't have this, because
Yeah.
it just becomes like, yo, come on, like, and you're the complete
You do
opposite.
know that we know you in real life, right? When you be looking at some of these people's posts, you're like, you see this stuff, and you're like, I mean, you do know that we know you in real life. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Who are you really trying to impress? Because your audience, if they're people that know you, they know better. You know what I mean? And so that's why I kind of really take pride in, my personal page. I post stuff, here and there. That's on lock. I know every single person on my personal page. But then, on the flip side of things, when you have podcasts, when you have I got the advocacy thing going on. So I wear a lot of different hats. And so realizing that, you kind of have to be on social media when you're, you know what I mean? Or else you're not going to have anybody to listen to you. Um, but yeah, I just had to jump in there on that because transparency is always key. I thrive on transparency now. You don't have to tell everybody everything, but I feel like, there are things that people need all cap to know, in order to get through whatever it is that they're going through. Like my sis was saying, it's not always about us, and
Mm.
so transparency is very important because you never really do know, who you're going to come across that's going to need to hear about your struggle, that's going to need to hear about your breakthrough, that's going to need to hear about your comeback. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, use it for that, and that's why we have to take breaks off of social media sometime, because it really can become toxic. It can become overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like all the things. Yes.
To tell you know my phone situation in Jamaica.
Oh
I
yeah,
told
yeah,
you I lost my phone, and I'm not going to admit I was so mad. I
Yeah.
was mad when it first happened. I was like, I'm ready to go get security, and we're gonna go door to door in this resort, and I'm gonna get my cell phone because I was doing the little thing where you can scan
okay.
and locate it, and it kept telling me it's on this resort, it's on this resort. And after a while, I was just like, yo, it just feels so good to not
Mm-hmm.
have that phone in my hand. It felt good to not get any text messages. It felt good to not check social media. After a while, I was just like, wow. I would make little jokes about it because I would see pictures, people taking pictures, and I would be like, wish I had my cell phone to take some. But for the most part, it just felt good. And I think it ended up being like 4 days that I was without my cell phone. And I was just like, okay.
Cleansing.
Because,
Rejuvenating.
because I was amongst family first and foremost. And I
Hmm.
knew if the people that were here needed me for something and they couldn't get me directly, that they could get somebody that I was with. So
Yeah.
I knew that everybody was okay. My son was with me. My wife was with me. It just felt so good to just disconnect. And I think because of that, I've kind of made a promise to myself that I'm going to disconnect a lot more, in the future. It's just having to figure out when I can, because like Key said, when you're doing so much of stuff
Yeah.
like this, have, so many things going on, you kind of need the social media part, but you get tired of like, I'm tired of hearing about Jeffrey Dahmer and this show on Netflix. No disrespect to anybody that's choosing to watch it, but that's all I've been hearing people talk about on Facebook for the last 3 days is Jeffrey Dahmer. And
Yes.
my reply was, I know the true story. I don't need to see the Hollywood version. So I'm probably not going to watch the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. But just to have that opportunity to just disconnect from the world, we need that sometimes. It's going to help us in the long run. It's probably going to add a couple of days, weeks, months, and years onto my life at the end.
Oh
Because if I
yeah.
go and go through this stuff every day, man, it's a lot. But what I was saying, where I was going with that, Tiff, is just the fact that I love that you're okay with sharing everything, whether it be through your music, whether it be through some of the posts you're going through, or even just in, just personal talks. You're okay with not being okay sometimes and letting people know. So like, what gives you that strength to be able to just like share so much of the stuff that you go through?
The way I do it, depending on the level of
Mhm.
I don't know, clearance that people have with me. You know what I mean? Like if it's a personal conversation versus social media post. If it's a social media post, I'm always probably gonna give a hint. Maybe something's not okay, but I have to make it very positive. Like if I'm feeling lonely, I'm gonna say something along the lines of, you are not alone. Someone is always going to be there with you. You know, that kind of thing. But I'm feeling lonely, but I'm telling you that you're not alone. Like you always have somebody. You get what I'm saying? So you have to find the
Mhm.
twist. So I'll do it like that. Um, the strength, it comes from, I guess, that knowing that I'm not alone. Um, I, I don't know. I know what music does to people, and I know that it heals me, and I know it heals other people when I'm just kind of like singing to people. I've sung to like people at my job, like a supervisor, and I'm just singing and telling her, hey, I do sing. And she's like, okay, well, let me hear it. And next thing you know, she's crying, and I'm like, what in the world? So there's certain things about people that have like healing properties, and if you
Mhm.
realize the power and the gift that you have, or the ability that you have to make sure that you tap into that. And people are pretty much in the last year, this year, a lot of people have mentioned a lot about my energy. I don't know what happened, but I just tapped into something where I was just like, I don't care. I'm going to be myself. And you find it is, yes, very infectious. Sometimes I don't see it. I just see it as this is who I am. But a lot of people, they just keep talking about it, even to the point where you are so infectious that you attract, it's like a light in the dark, and you're just going to attract every type of bug, right? It don't matter who it is. And so my struggle is being the light in the dark, or even the light amongst other lights, discerning the different types of things that are attracted to me. So that's a hard thing to decipher. But the more things that I go through, I realize, okay, not that you keep messing up, but you keep having these challenges and opportunities. Okay, now you have no choice. Like you really have to get it together, or else you're never going to be able to move forward to do the assignment that you are supposed to be doing as far as in this earth. I have no idea the magnitude that it's supposed to be, but I'm sitting here with you guys. You know what I mean? That I didn't see you guys last year, and so it's going somewhere. And then I know that the conversation is not going to end here. It will resonate within, and then we'll continue to talk about it all the more.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's something real weird going on with my Facebook page right now. Like
Yeah, I'm sorry.
telling me somebody else has ownership of this video, and that's
Can't be.
weird. But I wanted to share the YouTube channel just to make sure that people,
Been able
are
to.
able to see this, because I feel like this conversation is very much needed. But that's weird because I almost feel like I've been hacked. But I'll deal with that after the show.
Okay.
So I just want to talk a little bit about background, because the one thing I didn't know is that you were Brooklyn bred.
That's where I was born, and then shortly thereafter we moved to Manhattan.
Okay.
So that's pretty much where my roots are. And so a lot of times when people say you talk proper, it's because that's where I, was born. That's how I,
Ah,
that kind of
ah,
thing.
people say you talk proper. You talk the way you're supposed to talk. It's the way you
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
Like I don't I never understand what that means. Like,
That's what they say. It's a lot of people that's, Southern. So I just be like, all right, whatever. Cool.
so when exactly did you make the trek to Charlotte, or
We
was
moved
there?
here when I was 8 years old. And it
So
took me from age 8 to about age 16 to really kind of like get my feet wet and be comfortable in my skin with the friends that I had. Like it was rough. It was difficult because here down south you didn't have a lot of transplants coming from up north, and now like that's the thing to do. People they retire, they come on down with the kids or whoever, but it wasn't like that, and it was more segregated as far as the not dialects, but just and not classes, but just south versus north, and it was just different. It was very different because I even thought I was gonna gravitate to my black people down here, but if we didn't speak the same, it was awkward and it was weird. That's why hence you talk proper, or why don't you understand what I'm talking about? The slang or the lingo, you know. So.
um how do you feel like the entertainment culture is in the Charlotte area? Yeah.
It's very tough unless you're in certain crowds. Um, so we had Charlotte Arts Fest this past weekend, and I went to
So
this poetry thing, and it was really really cool. So unless you're in these different pockets of things that you're doing, you there's nothing else there, but it's pretty localized. And so if you're trying to branch out, it's good to go to other places outside of Charlotte to get more support, so that other people like yourselves can know about me, and then they'll say, okay, well, she's in Charlotte. Well, maybe one day I'll come there and see what's going on, that kind of thing. So it's tough. It's really tough. We had a show. We didn't have a great turnout, but and I don't know if it's just because it wasn't as much promotion, but it's different. It's different than other places, I would say.
when you say you didn't have a great turnout, is that according to like
The audience and how many people came.
yeah, like many people you thought it would be?
Right, right. I posted. I had like a few, very few people come, and then with the amount of artists that we had, as far as on the platform. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So some people were from out of town, so it's different as far as having them have fans in other places. But it just depends sometimes on the venue. It depends on the amount of time that you have. I remember I sung at somebody's thing that they wanted me to open for, and I had somebody drive up from Florida to come to see me, and that was interesting. So it just depends. If they're your fans, and they'll come and see you like wherever you are, or they'll make sure that they can support. And that's when I realized I was like, okay, I gotta keep doing this no matter what, because there are people that are actually like, it's like I'm their Beyonce. Like we have our Beyonce, but I'm that person that they can actually reach out and touch and have a connection with. So it's very important to keep.
Exactly. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in numbers,
Mm.
that we tend to forget. It's almost like we tend to forget the real reason why we're doing this sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I have this saying that I've had to stop, because when you're doing this live, you can literally see the amount of people that are watching you usually. And I remember I used to be uh, at a radio station called what was the first radio station? Whatever it was, and you could see your listeners live. You could see a count of the listeners live, and I got to a point where I was like, "Yo, it's 10:30 on a Friday night. I got better things that I could be doing than sitting up here talking to 14 people."
Mm-hmm.
You know,
14 people are listening to you.
yeah, but that means that somebody somewhere is listening, and you know, it's a lesson that you have to kind of teach yourself to understand that there's a bigger picture of what it is that you're doing. And I put up a post about this last week. Like, I go and I check the analytics of the podcast a lot, and I do it now at least twice or every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And there's people in Germany that listen to this show. There's
Love
people
it.
in Switzerland that listen to this show. And I'm like, it's blowing my mind, because I'm like,
Somebody out there.
people in Baltimore sometimes to listen to your show, but people, and that's why you always have to, especially you, Tiff, as an artist. I'm sure that you understand that assignment of, you can get to a venue and there can be 10 people there, and you're going to rock that stage and you're going to control that crowd as if you were performing at Coachella. I already know. I've never seen you perform live, and I already know that that's the attitude that you have. And I'm just basically saying that to say, stop getting caught in the numbers, because now it's all about your followers. It's all about your likes. It's all about this, that, and the third. But is it really about that? You know what I
Because you
mean?
can be saving somebody's life, that one.
And I was literally about to say that, for me, it's more about the impact. Number one, if you have 5 people, or if you have 100 people, if you reach those 5 people in a way that nobody has ever been able to reach them before, the impact of that is much greater than it being 100 people who might show up. They may or may not buy your music. They may or may not support you. They could have just been passing through. You just never know what people's motives are. And then there's also something that I love called the replay. So, now we're in a day and age where everybody's on the move, everybody's moving and shaking and doing so many different things. And so, if I'm on my podcast on Friday night at 7 o'clock, there might not be a whole lot of people that are tuned in, sitting, in front of the TV, the iPad, on social media in that moment. But guess what? They're going to catch it later on. They're going to catch it next week. Somebody's going to tell them, oh, hey, did you catch so and so on whatever? And so the replay, we be sleeping on the power of the replay. I'm telling y'all, like, that counts. That counts a
And
lot, much more than we realize.
that's why you still have to just put the content out regardless, right? So let's say you did your show or whatever, today, right? But you don't have any replay. But the point is you got to keep going, because then when you have people watching, they're going to want, because we binge watch all the time. So they're going to want to binge watch or binge listen to all of your content. But if you're like, oh, nobody listened to it, I only got 3 episodes, then, because that happened. I was looking up Tiffany's around the world, right, for a podcast. And this one girl, her name was Tiffany Empowers. And she only had like 5 episodes. I was like, this is good. And I was like, oh man, she don't have no more. So I was like, hey, like, I want to hear more. And then she had heard that several times, and then she started back up. And I said, see, this is what I'm talking about. So just sparking that encouragement for her to continue, because I have about like 134 episodes. And every now I was like, I just keep going. If I'm going through something, I just talk, I get it out, and I just leave it there out into the ether, so that whoever stumbles upon it, if they listen to 134, they'll be like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. And they'll just go all the way down. But if there's nothing else there for them to listen to, then now, they don't have an idea of who you are. Or they can't learn about who you are. So yeah, keep on creating no matter what. Even if you think no one is listening, they will listen eventually.
I'm sorry, I got to get off my Facebook page, because the fact that I feel like I've been hacked is really bothering me right now. I see this guy's name has taken ownership of the video, and it has some kind of foreign language next to it, and it's really, like, I really want to go ahead and submit this dispute now, but I'm gonna leave it alone. So for like some, and I'm very interested in hearing this from you, because I see the style of music and everything that you do. Like, who are some of the people, entertainment wise, that have like really influenced you? Because you've been doing this since you were 13, you said.
13 was when I first sang publicly. 16 was when I actually was like, okay, I think I'm gonna do music.
Okay.
Like, for real. So some of the influences that I've had way back when, of course, you're Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, you're Michael, you're Janet, you're Beyonce. So you're not Beyonce at the time. Monica, Brandy, Luther Vandross, Boyz II Men, those type of people. Then as we move further, you have your Beyonce's. Currently, right now, I'm loving Kevin Ross, Ella Mai, her, Babyface for sure, Lucky Day. I already said Kevin Ross. Ryan Leslie is a good one, and of course all the classics that we love to listen to. But those are my people that sometimes I just sit and I study. I listen to it over and over again.
That's a very interesting and a very eclectic group. Like, there's a lot of ends of the
That was a few. I mean, I have listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and, just whoever. But it's just sometimes those are my go-tos when I listen to them. Of course, we all love Rihanna and Chris Brown's, stuff like that. But and I'm a student of music, so it also depends on what kind of mood that you're in. I remember I used to clean buildings, and Ryan Leslie put out this album. I don't think this album is out anywhere else, but on his SoundCloud and on his actual website. It's called Black Mozart, and I listened to that every single day. I was in a very low place, and it got me through. So there's certain things, it just hits you when you are where you are, and the replay value is very high. It's very strong. So I'm just grateful and thankful for people who are just like you and me, they go through life. Some, are sitting at the top of a heap, and some are sitting at the bottom. But it doesn't make anybody any better or less. We all put our shoes on the same way. We all bleed the same blood. But you have a different perspective that you can offer, that you can give, and I feel like that helps make the world go round, so that we can get wherever it is that we are trying to get to, which is really just to live and be happy.
And shout out to Rihanna. The news just dropped. I believe it was. She was going to shut the Super Bowl down at halftime.
That's gonna be amazing.
Going to shut the Super Bowl down at halftime. I can't wait.
Yes.
I was hyped last year for Dr. Dre and all of them.
Yes.
I can't wait for Rihanna. Rihanna going.
They've been good as far as their lineups lately. So I'm like, okay, let me find out.
The halftime show.
Fans in the seats and people watching on TV. That's what that is.
Yeah. Well, Jay-Z is actually kind of working with the NFL now.
He's right.
He indirectly but directly kind of has he kind of knows what's going on with the Super Bowl now. I can promise you that if it wasn't for him, Dr. Dre and them wouldn't have been there last year.
Right.
But
that's been going on, Kaepernick and all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, but the fact that it was in LA, and to have Snoop and Dre and all there. A lot of people didn't understand why Mary J. Blige was, and I had to explain to people that that halftime show was a celebration of Dr. Dre and his legacy, and him being from LA. And Dr. Dre has written some great songs for Mary J. Blige, so why would she not be a part of it? But yeah, I can't wait to see Rihanna. And the fact that the Ravens are going to be playing in the Super Bowl, which the fact that the Ravens are going to hopefully be playing in the Super Bowl is definitely going to make me watch it even more. I want to talk a little bit or hear a little bit about like your creative process, your writing process. Like, I would love to be a fly on the wall when you're like in the studio and actually, side by side with the producer and creating some of this magic that, you brought to the world. Shut up.
What is it like?
Yeah.
It's sometimes when I watch stuff on TV, as far as like the behind the scenes or unsung or whatever, I resonate with it a lot because it's very similar. You, as the artist, when you come to the point where you truly are like comfortable with who you are, you, the producer, whoever else is like in the studio, it's like you guys are like, you speak the same language, you're of the same mind, and it's such a great connection to have, to be able to create something and do it together. So I think it's one of the most like awesome experiences possible. I mean, you sit, we write. Sometimes, a lot of times, what I typically do is I write by myself, and then I'll come and I'll say, "This is what I have. Can you create something to it?" Or something will already have been created, and then I'll have to take it, and again, I'll write to myself, and I'll say, "Okay, now this is what I have," and then we'll work together on whether it's ad libs, harmonies, backgrounds, and things like that. So things can be done very quickly if we're on a schedule. It doesn't take long. Like Work For It was done in about 3 days. Like in its totality. Some songs take longer because you're just sitting on it, just waiting for that. It's not necessarily the inspiration, but it's like a puzzle that you're constantly trying to solve in the back of your mind. And then all of a sudden it hits you, you're like, that's it. Go ahead and put it down. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Just the same way like how movies are made, or when you're watching the genius of somebody run 100 yards to make a touchdown. It's all in that same kind of life, that same kind of thing. So I just think it's beautiful. You could be a fly on the wall at any point in time.
Does it have to be a certain mood inside of the studio?
Like lights like that?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I've been doing it long enough to where you have to create the atmosphere. You have to set the atmosphere wherever you go. You know what I'm saying? So and you realize you are able to do that with your presence when you walk in the door, when you go in the studio. That's why you have to. Some people are very timid and they're very shy, but you have to block everything out and really like put yourself into like inside of the notes in the sheet music, right? So that's what you have to do. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's cool. It helps if you want to make me comfortable and put on some blue turquoise lights or whatever. That's cute, but that's not necessary. It's not needed. And I have to make sure before I go, I'm not getting myself together while I'm in there. You're supposed to be somewhere. You take about 30 minutes. I know for sure it takes me like 30 minutes to warm up my voice to make sure it's on par. But I'll definitely take an hour to do so. So you have to do everything that you're supposed to do. So when you go, let's go. We're ready to work. So we're not wasting anybody's time.
And what's your warm-up process for your voice?
Remember I sang my Funny Valentine last time, didn't I? I did. So
yeah. One of them. That was one of the songs you did.
That was one. There's what a day this has been, what a red, what a red, why it's almost like being in love. Sometimes I'll start there. Sometimes I have like a little playlist of stuff that I listen to. I don't start off high yet, especially if I first woke up. I give myself a chance to, get the little cobwebs out. What am I gonna say? Then I'll eventually work on my falsetto and make sure it's there, it's strong, and I can maintain it. I'm to the point where I make sure I sing on a consistent basis. So let's say I don't have a show till November, right? Which is true. But that doesn't mean, okay, a week before the show, that's when you start. You have to keep it going because you have to keep those muscles there. It's a muscle. It's really what it is. So just like working out and being in shape, you have to keep it at its best, at its best level, at its best state. So, and then also not only that, but how are you taking care of your body so that you can, have the proper breath control, the stamina and the endurance to be able to sing the song the way that it's needed. So all of those things are something that is it's a part of your life. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And I asked that question because a lot of your music it varies in tones. Like even the little song that you sang, at the beginning, like you hit a few different tone levels. And I'm far from a singer, even though I sing. I'm far from a singer. But I know that on Sunday mornings, I have to do a little bit of prep in order to, and sing on Sunday mornings. And it has to start because we start at what, 8:45, Key? So I think by like 7:45, 8 o'clock, as I'm on my way to church, I'm throwing something on and I'm just trying to, get that as clear as possible so that I don't sound too bad. But you're very tony in a lot of the music that you sing, and I know that definitely takes some work because you're one of those singers that can go from here to there, in like a nice little run and make it look easy. Like people need to go and I'll repost it again and watch your acapellas and acoustic segment that you did with me because you were like, that was amazing singing. That was amazing vocals that you did during that segment. And that's why I asked you that question because that's not something you can just wake up and, say, okay.
Well, it comes, like I said, with, it's years of, that's what you've been doing. And then, let's say if I have a show tonight, I'll make sure I can run through it like 1 or 2 times. I won't overdo it. But it's something, it's in you. It's in you. That's all I can say. It's getting so much more easier now than ever before, I think, because I know what I need to do to get there and I make sure I maintain it. But it's so much more easier now and maybe my confidence is a whole lot better. Because I used to think if I can't hear the music, I can't perform properly. So I had to tell myself, you're very much aware. Don't rely so much on the sound being perfect. It's gonna come out perfectly fine. Now, and I also have to tweak. You know how like in a choir, you're trying to sing over the music because you don't have mics or anything right there, and you guys can't hear yourself. I had to switch it. You have to trust the sound is coming out, especially if you have a mic, the people will hear it. Don't over insert yourself so that you basically lose your voice in the process. So I had to practice that on my own as well, so that I can get the proper tone, so it doesn't sound like I'm screaming at someone. And then by the end of the song, now I have a hoarse voice because I'm trying to shout over the music. You know, so that's the other thing that has switched and changed, so that you can be able to last throughout an entire set. And it's not your job as the artist to be heard. That's the engineer's job. You get what I'm saying? So everybody has to do their part. So if they can't hear you, that's not your fault. That's their fault. They need to turn you up or turn your music down or fix it. And that's what I learned. You have to be very direct about what you need, so that you can put the give up the proper performance.
And as a solo artist, you're literally, I mean, you have background vocals, but you're literally like holding the you know, the meat and potatoes of the song is all on you. You know what I mean? And
in doing the backgrounds too, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're okay. Now she's stunting on us because she does the backgrounds. She just had to let us know that she does the background.
Little something.
My wife said,
yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for like the salt water,
well, that's what. So for me, that's what I was saying. Like, it's a lifestyle. So I don't drink too much alcohol. You know what I mean? I'm always drinking water, so I'm always pretty much lubricated. I'm always making sure that now in the winter time, let's say things might be a little different, but it's what are you doing when you wake up in the morning to prepare for your day? If I'm going to be talking to people, or if I know I have a lot of talking to do and I have a song or a performance in the evening, then I make sure, like, this is an elevated speaking voice. But when I talk to people, I pretty much talk like this, and I make sure that I don't exert so much that I can say that I can do, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So you have to know yourself, and you have to know what you need to do. Hot tea is great because it kind of quickly warms you up, but you still have to do the work. You know?
Never works for me. Never works for me.
We different, and that's fine.
Never works for me. I always feel like I have. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into my singing thing. This is not about me. And that's why I can never give Miss Joyce the solo that she wanted, because the song that she wanted me to sing was I'm Not Fred Hammond. I'm sorry, I can't get up there. And
she had you do it.
I know that they always say make the song your own, but that was not happening. It just wasn't. It just wasn't. So before we go on, like I said earlier, I got some videos queued up. And I want to get into some of these videos because I think this will allow people to really see you in your element. Yeah, definitely in your element. So I have two of them. I told you the songs that I have. Which one do you want to play first?
Let's do Calling Me first, and then we'll finish it out. We'll work for it.
All right, man. So again, man, we're in the building with Tiffany Jaye. This Facebook issue is really bothering my nerves right now.
Okay, you gotta give it to God, and hopefully it's gonna work out.
But yeah, we're gonna get into Calling Me. You want to talk a little bit about the inspiration behind this song, because I love this song.
This one, somebody's selling you dreams, and none of it is real, none of it is true. And every single time I run into a situation where somebody's doing that, I revert back to this song, and you'll be like, I bet you be calling me, because most dudes, they always come back, for whatever reason, and that's kind of what the song is basically saying. I bet you be calling me.
Calling Me, Tiffany Jaye. Let's go. All right. Let me stop. I gotta take my bad. I gotta take that off so we get the full effects of the video and make it whole. Let's start it from the beginning. And this is not the time.
that voodoo girl. Calling me, I bet you be, oh, I bet you'll be. You never had my back ever. Oh, yeah. You be the what's the name, yeah. I know you seen me call. Never had my back. I was there and all you had. You be the what's the name. That's why you MIA. You came selling dreams, but your ass is trash. Disrespecting me. Keep the mood on, I'ma show you how bad it could be. Don't tell me, don't tell me, cause I'll be running you. I know that don't care. No, you won't be there. Never had my back, but yeah, I bet you be calling me. I bet you be calling me. Calling, never had my back. Now you think you're gonna call me. Calling me. I know that I don't care me. No, you won't be calling. Never had my back. Yeah, but I bet you be calling me. Front like you keep it real. Okay, you wanna play the field. Said you wanna wipe your hands. Baby, go ahead and be stressed. Tired of all the lies. Being caught by surprise. Said you wanna think about it. Yeah, I think you need some time. But you're disrespecting me. Kill the mood, oh, I'ma show you how bad it could be. Don't tell me, cause I'm running you. I know that I don't care. I know you won't be there. You never had my back, but I bet you be calling me. I bet you be calling me. Oh, I bet you be calling. You never had my back, but I bet you be calling me. I bet you be calling me. Oh, I bet you be calling. You never had my back, but I bet you be calling me. I know, but I don't care. You will never be there. I know that I don't care. No, 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 no. I know, but I don't care. I know, but I don't care. I bet you be calling me, baby. Calling me. Ooh, but I bet you be calling. You never had my back. Calling me, calling me. I know, don't call me. Oh, no, 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 no. Ooh, but I bet you be calling me. I'll be here waiting, calling me. I'ma tell you to keep it real, do you? Calling, baby. Never ever expect to be calling me. Kill the mood and I'll show you. Calling me, show you where you are. Calling on with me. Never had my back. Oh, I bet you be calling me, baby. So what you think?
Oh, that's the perfect video for me to segue into your dancing.
Okay.
That's the perfect. But before we go there, shout out to my sis Chanel, our sisters in the building. She says taking care of your vocals is a commitment and a lifestyle.
Yes, it is.
Hot calf tea. Maybe that's the problem. My tea's not decaf.
Maybe.
I'm gonna try some decaf tea Sunday morning and see if that works. I doubt it. But yeah,
He said I know.
He said that.
Baby.
shout out to Chanel, man. Always supporting. I appreciate you, sis. Yes, but let's talk about this dancing, man, because I've seen some different videos of you dancing. You look like you are absolutely free, and anything that's on your mind that may be a burden at that point is totally gone, and you are just lost in having the fun of moving when you dance.
That's so true. I'm not gonna cry. That's so true. I felt it. Because I can't. I mean, I feel like outside of singing, dancing, I don't know. It's a full body movement thing, right? Like singing, sometimes you're standing and you're singing, but dancing, it involves your entire body, and if you let it do whatever you feel it's going to do, you know what I mean? I have remember I watched something with Michael Jackson, and we all know when we watch him, he is explosive. He is just out of this world. And I said, dang, what is that? You know what I mean? And it's different for different people. So it just reminds me when we were back in New York and my sister's dad would play the records every night before I went to sleep. And that's right, all that old school R&B stuff, even 80s and 70s, like that's what he did. And every time I hear music, I go back to that time. And nobody can touch you. Nobody can take anything away from you. Sometimes I close my eyes, like even when I'm in dance on Thursdays, and I pretend I'm on stage. And then when I'm on stage, I pretend I'm like just in my room. Um, yeah, it's a freeing thing. Nobody can touch you. And you. It's like if music were like a thing, like the wind, it's just coming around you and just you know what I mean. That's what it's doing. It is. I can't explain it, but if you let it, like you just let go for that
I,
moment.
there was I don't know if it was a contest or something. There was a video that you posted a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. It was you and a guy that you guys had worked on this routine,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
and I was just like, yo, she just looks so happy. Like you know how people just say she looks so peaceful, in that element, and like that's what I get. I mean, I know that probably the majority of the stuff that you do for your videos is probably choreographed, correct? This is
Like the video that like what we watched in the
yeah.
dance you're talking about, or my reels. Sometimes when I just be dancing.
Well, I know the reels are chore. That the reels are just you, how you feel.
Sometimes they are choreographed. Like I try to
Yeah.
do like a part of it, but after that I'll be like, okay, you just gotta do whatever. But yeah, a lot of them, yes, they are choreographed, and so just like music, or just like writing a song in the studio,
Mhm.
you you are planning the structure of what you're trying to put out, but then after that, you have to let it live. You know what I mean? And that's the soul of
Mhm.
that's the soul of the performance that you guys are feeling. Like, what is the soul? What is the essence? And I feel like I get to take that and give it to you.
Shout out to Chanel. She told me to come get my vocals right. If you are in need of a vocal coach, please reach out to Chanel at Studio
Okay.
Nora.
Uh-huh.
She's here in Baltimore, and she is an amazing vocal coach. I don't know if you got enough time because every week she's posting about new students that she has. So I don't know if she has time to get me right because I'm always. So, do you do your own choreography for the most part?
Pretty much like in the Calling Me video, I choreographed and directed the whole thing. You know, so the dun, 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 dun. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, I sat here in my room and did it. Um, put the whole thing together, and yeah, the thing with the contest, myself and my dance partner, we put that together. You know, so it's just taking things, seeing stuff that you are inspired by, and putting it together. And that's what you saw.
Yes.
That's the product.
I'm kind of
Mm.
jealous, right? That stuff is amazing. Like it's really because now I can see you because you wrote the song. Um, I'm imagining you as you're putting the choreography together for the video, just kind of going through your this is where I was in the song, this is how I'm feeling, such and such and such and such. Key.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what? Before you, I don't know what you're about to say, but I just wanted to chime in and say, that when 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 you watch something and you immediately, like, the song comes on and you start moving around, you start bobbing your head, you're just, I almost closed my eyes because I was listening to you singing, and I didn't want to close my eyes because I wanted to be able to see the dance. But it's funny that you asked her that about the choreography, because it just seems so natural, so free, so like free flowing, just watching the movements and listening to the sound at the same time. It just really almost seemed like you recorded that while you were just, having fun and just doing whatever and just letting it flow. And I don't know if that's how you, actually choreographed it from the beginning.
No.
Just this movement. But I'm telling y'all, I was lost for a second. I'm like, don't close your eyes, because I tend to, when I listen to music, no matter what genre of music it is, I like to get lost in it. And
As you
so I'm
should.
like, you know what I'm saying? You hear the
Hmm.
sound, you just want to just be like, you put your
Because if it's
headphones
good
on
to
and
your
you just,
ear, if it's good just to your
yeah,
ear without even looking or watching anything, then you know. And the video is just a
that's
plus,
it.
but it's
That's
really not
it.
big. You know what I mean? So yeah,
That's it. Absolutely. That was great.
thank you. Thank
What
you.
you was about to say, so I don't
Getting ready-
know.
I was getting ready to say you could get her to choreograph your next video. That's what I was about to go.
You know what?
Just
I
in case
mean,
you
hey,
just wanna, because Key Tiffany low key, and I'm about to put her on blast now. She's actually a great singer.
Okay.
She's a great singer. Um,
I'm mad.
yeah, but I didn't realize it until you came and sang at your dad's funeral. And we were supposed to be singing backup for you at that time, remember? And I'm standing down there and I'm looking like, because remember, we were down to the right of the state, or of the,
Yeah.
we were, and I was standing down there like, looking up like, somebody ain't tell me Key can sing, and why she don't come up and sing with us on Sunday mornings? she's a, we're going to have to pull this out of her, Tiff. We're going to have to pull it out of her. But I could
Listen,
definitely.
I baby step everything. Like I almost gotta be pushed, out in the front. You know that about me. Like I just, I mean, and I keep saying I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna show up because I love to sing. I really do love to sing, but it's just the nerves get to working and all of that stuff. So, and it was like in that moment I was nervous then, but I was just like, okay, I'm doing this for my dad, so I'm gonna bring it home. But yeah, I'm deaf. All right, all right. You don't putting people out there.
Hold it. So let me stop you right there because what I said just totally went over your head because you're talking about praise and worship. If you want to come up and sing praise and worship, that's fine. I would love to see you get in the studio and do something.
Oh wow, that went. It did.
I would love to see you get in the studio and do something.
I might someday.
And you know you got access to a studio because hubby can get you in the studio like nothing. So I would love to see that one day. I would love to see that one
All
day.
right, so y'all stay tuned.
Yep.
Might be 5 years from now, but stay tuned. I'll be.
Not, I see you too often. This is not going to be no daggone 5 years. But see, that's the thing. That's the thing that it's like Tiff. What was that moment for you when you just said, okay, let's just go? I love doing it. You know,
Like to do music?
I can pick up the brush and I can sing in my bedroom and all of that kind of stuff. But now it's time for me to push it out there and just let the world see and hear what I'm doing.
I'll tell you, it kind of really hit, and I'm also going through another transition currently, but it hit when what was it, 2020, well, first every year, I call it my fiscal year from February to February because I was born February 13th, right? So from February to February, I pray about what is that year's focus supposed to be. And so typically around November, December, I'm, trying to figure out. And so 2019, I got the itch. Okay, let's work on our womanhood. Let's figure out what that means to be like I am woman. And then February hit. I had this, this bulge. I was trying to understand like what's going on. Something ain't right. Went on. I think it was my birthday. Found out I had fibroids. And I was like, okay, what is that? Benign tumors? What? And I didn't realize we were actually going to be working on my womanhood, literally, right? And so I did have the surgery November 11th, 2020. And that was one of the most, like, that was one of the best experiences I had in my entire life. Like, I enjoyed every part of it. And what I loved about it was I try to have control, right? We say we have faith, but you don't have faith until you have to relinquish control.
All
Okay?
right.
So I had never had a surgery before, and I also was like, I didn't break my arm. I didn't never had a tooth pulled. I didn't do anything to cause this to happen, and it just happened. So I have to go through this, period. And I'm sitting here thinking, did I? Didn't. It's just it didn't. So you can't tell the doctor, oh, make sure you do this. No, they're gonna knock you out, and that's it. And they're the expert, right? Or God is, giving people tools and know how to do, et cetera, et cetera. So at my job, I work at Michael's as a frame shop manager, and I'm really good at my job. And I make people feel very comfortable. And typically,
I was going to talk about that too.
Typically, when I speak, they say, "We're going to do this, we're going to do that." And they be like, oh yeah, I trust you, I got you," or you got it. And it's very like you don't even know me from a can of paint, and you're just saying, "I trust you." And it's got to be something there that just gives them that, that comfort level to have faith in you. So when I went to meet the specialist that was going to actually do my surgery, he made me feel like I know I make these other people feel. And I said, you know what? He's got it. I prayed for him, prayed for the assistant nurses and everybody. So then when it was time for me, to go through MRIs and the rest of the process, I said to myself, I'm going to figure out, because I'm in retail and I've been serving a lot. I'm serving here today with you guys. So it's about how can I serve these people as they're serving me so that we can have the best interaction and we're putting positive things, as you're having, the surgery and everything. So that happened after I had my surgery. When I came to, I could tell that the fibroids was gone immediately, even though I was like, but I knew they were gone. And then the recovery process was the first time God had me sit down. I had to leave work. I couldn't do anything. Like I had to sit down. And it was the most humbling experience because it took me like 10, 15 minutes just to get up to go to the bathroom. And my mom, thank God for her being a nurse, she understands. And so I got up, walked to the bathroom, threw up each time. And I said, okay, you know what you want to do up here, but you have to listen to your body so we can work together. So I would lay down
and listen.
Then I would sit up and I'd have to wait to get the equilibrium together. Then I would stand up and I had to wait. Then I would walk very slowly. Then I would stop because everything got shaky. And this is how it is in life. Sometimes you gotta listen. If God tell you to go here, open this door, or don't go through that door. Sit, wait, listen. So then we get through that, and every day, whenever you hit rock bottom, yes, it's rock bottom, but know that you're about to go up another valley, right? But when you get to the top, know and be prepared that you're about to go back to another valley to learn something else. It should be a positive trending curve. So we move forward because you're asking me where does all this stuff come from. I realize I can't do much, right? But I can still move, and then the better each day gets. I felt like I was back in high school and college again, and it was just a different energy that I hadn't had in a very long time. So when I went to dance, I felt like I was free. I know what it means to not be able to move and do what you want to do. That's very it messes with your mind. And so now I'm like, well, she's sitting down because she can't wear her heels for like 3 hours, but I know I can. So I'm gonna wear my heels for her and I'm gonna dance for her. You know what I mean? And that's really the moment I was like, oh, I'm free now. Like I can do this now. If I have the ability, why not? Why sit down when I can stand? So when they say if you're able to stand, yes.
Ouch.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just that's where it came from. And it's hard, it's difficult, yes it is, but when you come on the other side, like you do become stronger. And then everything that was on that other level down there, it really can't touch you anymore. You know? So I know now I have a whole new set of things that I need to master. But when I master this next bit in life, I'm gonna be a force to be reckoned with. So stay tuned for that.
That was deep.
It was a lot. It was a lot. But that's the reason why. Like after having surgery and you come to and something else that you didn't know. I wrote it down somewhere. I was really comfortable because things can go wrong. And I was like, I'm at the point where if I were to die, I'm okay. Like that's literally how I felt. I told somebody that and they were like, what? I was like, well, I was so free because I had to let go. I had to let go. You're about to put me to sleep, and I have no idea what's going to happen. There's no dreaming. Some people dream. There's no dreaming. There's no none of that. You sleep, and it's just like dead time,
Mm-hmm.
and you wake up.
All surgery is dead time. You wake up and you feel like it's 20 hours later. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the fact that we even have the ability to do stuff like that. That's out of this world, and it's insane. And that's where you ultimately have to trust. I forget how much faith I had, and it's very difficult currently to have that same level. But now he's reactivating it again. So, but it was a beautiful time. And so now, yeah, like that's why I'm free. If you were to turn something on today, or if I'm going to speak to you or talk to you, I am here for a reason, and I have to make sure that you like. I used to pray all the time, God, allow me or allow them to see your glory within me. So when you say all those things, we all embody different aspects of who he is, right? And so that's
Mm-hmm.
really what I'm asking for. That's it. That's what you see. When you see me, it's a reflection of him because we're in his image. So that's really it. It's not about me, it's about him. And I try to pray each and every day to make sure that I'm operating within the fruits of the spirit. Yes, we got the works of the flesh going on and it's tough, but that's why I said you gotta plant your seeds and eventually that garden is gonna shed the fruit. Just keep planting. And if it's not here, it's definitely gonna be up there later in life. But what you put out is going to come back. You are going to reap what you sow. And that's the faith that you have to have when people are out here and they are just doing the negative things. And you have such a sweet spirit and you have such a kind heart that you would never treat someone the way that they treat you. You really have to trust. So kind of like now, God is putting my mind to sleep and saying, I am the surgeon. You have to trust me in this process. And when I wake you back up again to put you back on your assignment, you have to know that it's going to be okay. That's all I'm saying right now. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. I could talk all day. It's so much.
Wow.
It's a
Where
lot.
where does that faith and that spiritual foundation come from?
Well, remember, you got to train up a child in the way they should go, and they will not depart from it. So we got to thank mom for putting us in church.
Mm.
And then after that, you have to create your own relationship, right?
Yes.
So I guess God speaks to people differently, and I hope and pray, like wherever you are in your walk, that He really pricks your soul and that you come to know Him for yourself. But I mean, that's how I grew up. I don't know if I did anything else. Would I come back here? I don't know. I can't say. I'm thankful to be where I am currently, and it's evident. It's I don't necessarily I can't see spirits or anything like that, but I've definitely felt some things. I can sense some things. I can smell some things. Like the stuff is real. Like you can't explain it, but it's so real. And this last year, I've been digging deep into. Well, I pretty much got the Bible, but I'm trying to understand the spiritual discernment, and I get it. I had the test of my life this year, and I see it, I understand it, and now it's trusting. The faith is like we talked about before. Singing, going to the studio, preparing for church in the morning, right? What do you do? Is it a lifestyle, or are you just getting your hot tea to make sure that you can sing for this Sunday service? And if that's the case, you're not going to be ready for the solo or none of that stuff. And that's just how it is.
Mm.
Are you reading your word? Are you focused? Are you practicing these principles that you're supposed to be? Or are you just like, oh, well, I'm going to put myself in a situation and hopefully the word is just going to come up? It doesn't work
Mm.
like that. So
Ah.
it's something that you have to practice on a daily basis. You will mess up and it's okay because that's what his grace is for, right? And this is something else that I said. The will of God is, because I was like, what is it? I don't understand what it is. What is it? It's it's many things. It's a physical place because we can be in where we're supposed to be. It's a mindset. It's a how you treat people and all that stuff. So but it moves and it shifts because you got to constantly be, pray without ceasing. You got to constantly be connected. Where am I supposed to be? And I'm gonna tell you this for whoever's listening for the replay. When you are trying to live off of the blood or the forgiveness that is, supposed to be there, I'm gonna tell you this: when you actively choose to step out of the will of God, there is no protection for you there. Okay? Think about Job. They up in heaven having a discussion about what he can and can't do. And that's exactly what's happening because you're a child of God. Okay. But because you're breaking rules, the devil has legal right to do whatever is in the contract that he can do. And sin
Mm.
also, it's a contract that you are creating. I'm going to do this or whatever. And it's every day. There are things that we think about, There are things that we are doing that we are aware of, and things that we are unaware of. And every day we are finding these contracts that create opportunities for sin to enter life. So when people say, "Oh, bad things happen to good people," you got to remember there's stuff that's in your bloodline. There's stuff that you did that you didn't even know to you. That's why you got to stay in sync so that you can constantly be convicted to be better, if that makes sense. So when you step outside of the will of God freely and knowingly, the devil has no mercy for you, and you will. That is a promise. You will get bit. I don't know how bad the bite's gonna be, but you will get bit. But the good thing is, God is always there waiting. I have a whole other thing. If you listen to my podcast, Miss Key, the spiritual journey about Pinocchio, that was a whole nother. If you looked at the Pinocchio from 20, I'm putting it on TV because that's what I'm watching. Pinocchio 2022 with Tom Hanks. He to me embodies the way the Father loves us, and Pinocchio is us. And there's this, I can go all day into it, but it was a beautiful depiction. And he said, the foxes was like, "Do you want to be real or do you want to be famous?" Well, to be real is to be famous to yourself, to be famous to your God, to be famous to you know, your family. You're authentic. And then the other quote that I want to quickly say was, Pinocchio had got twice at this point. And then the girl that he could very well trust, she was like, "You could trust me." And he said, "You're a real person, right? And I can't trust anybody but my Father." And I said, "Oh my God." Now, I took that and I said, "Okay, God, I'm talking about these fruits of the spirit, da da da." And I'm sitting over here, well, this person looks nice, this person's doing this, but does he have your spirit? And the answer is no. But I'm still over here, whatever, whatever. You really have to. That's the discipline and the diligence that you have to have. Drinking your tea every day or doing what you're supposed to do so that you can be vocally prepared so that when it's time to face the test, you are actually ready and you're not stumbling every time. You may get through that solo or that choir performance, but it may be rough. Doesn't mean that it wasn't a bad service, none of that, or you can't come back from it, but you can be so much better. And the good thing is, remember what I said earlier, we are not guaranteed to live old, but we are guaranteed to die. Thank God for time. Time is a gift. You may think that you're depressed and you're wallowing, but you know what? That's time. And you take that time to get into those emotions so that when fly on the wall, you see me in the studio and you hear me creating the songs, that's where it comes from. Because she took time to really take those emotions and say, "Okay, this is what it is, and this is what it feels like." Whoa! I can keep on going. I can keep on going.
Key, you ready for church announcements now?
Listen. Y'all ain't know we was going to church tonight, but somehow, I don't know if it be me. I'm starting to feel like it be me because I declare every time we supposed to be doing one thing, and then the spirit starts moving, and then it just goes. But listen, I'm speechless. I don't even. It was so much in all that you just said that I don't know about nobody else, but I'm a writer also. So y'all
You been
can't
taking notes? Are you serious?
listen, I
You have
always
not.
do it. I always do it. Some of it is my notes for, as I was listening to your music and listening to the podcast and looking at this amazing artwork and all your credentials and people who you've performed with and all the things. But a lot of it is what you were saying because I believe in receiving, the message when you're supposed to receive it. And so, yes, I can go back and watch the replay, but nah, it was some things that I needed to jot down while you were talking. So, yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen, y'all. Music is a stepping stone to whatever else. I feel that, and the way that life is hitting me now and that it's hit this year, and me being able to just express what I'm feeling and share it. I don't know what's coming, but that's where the transparency and the vulnerability comes from. You see what I'm saying? So knowing it's doing something, and I ask that y'all pray for me so that I can be kept. And there was a distraction right before I came onto this, and so I know my warfare is going to be like that, and I have to remember this is a warfare thing. I need you to focus. You're about to go on and be ready for them. So do what that later talk to you need to talk to, but just focus. Whoever's going to be in your life is going to be in your life. If they're not going to be in your life, they weren't meant to be in your life. But whatever God has allowed up until this point, it is supposed to be. He's aware. He knows what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And he will restore you just like he did with everybody throughout the Bible. So it's going to be okay. I'm telling you and I'm telling myself, to be honest, it's going to be okay. And
Tiffany,
if he allowed it, and then yeah, it's going to be
Tiffany,
yes.
your initial sermon is gonna be fire.
What? Stop it! Stop it!
Sermon is gonna be fire.
Don't you say nah. I'm trying. Listen,
Tiffany, your initial sermon is gonna be.
when
Whew,
somebody said that to me, I almost cussed. I looked at that person and was like, "Sir, what? Yeah, okay. So yeah, you better hear him clear. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Okay.
she actually just gave her initial sermon, but this is a
Yeah.
that official Tiffany. It's gonna be fire.
That was amazing.
And when
And
you so and then remember, so I'm being transparent, but I'm still not giving you the whole story.
I
Yes,
know.
so when
Hmm.
you learn the whole story later in life, you're gonna say, I had no idea. And that's the part that helps like save people. That's the part that gives people the strength to be like, okay, if she can, I can do this. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can. So
So,
that's why that will say what?
so with all of the talent that you apparently have as a writer, since we don't know the whole story, could this story play out in a book or a
It
series?
could.
Some
I have some things written in Google Drive, and and then the things that have happened as of, let's say, in the last maybe like, I would say 10 years, because the stuff that happened in my Google Drive are like, 20 years out. I would say the most recent that I hadn't captured or written down, they could be very well. I don't know, and that's why I said music is a stepping stone. I think music is supposed to first start the journey, and then I can branch out, because the music, just like what Rihanna is doing, right? Her music was just a stepping stone for Fenty Beauty. She gonna come back and give us a great show and go sit down and be with her baby, and that's it. You know what I mean? So it's a stepping stone to whatever the next thing is. Like, as far as her innovation in makeup and the beauty industry. So I'm not saying I don't know. I'm just saying I've yet to, like I said, each year I get a little bit of a revelation, and right now I'm going to be learning a high level of discipline that I have to get me to the next phase. So I think when I get to that level, I think it'll be revealed to me, whatever it is. But in the meantime, I'm just going to take these small steps, because that's all I can do right now. And we'll go from there. But that's what I said in my bio. I want to be like a triple threat. I want to be able to sing. I want to be able to act, do movies. I want to be able to do my art. So I want to be able to do a time lapse, and you see me sitting and then creating some awesome piece of art, and then I sell it, and sell prints. I want to be able, yes, to write books, and then my podcast is for me. It's more of it's kind of like what we're doing right now, but it's a conversation pretty much with myself and talking with myself, or a prayer like with myself, and then I'm just going through my thoughts. And so that's what the podcast is. But that will always be there as well. As a, dang, she just performed at such and such. I wonder what she was thinking about when she got off stage. And then you'll know. And it's a more intimate, in-depth conversation that you can have with your fans, versus I just see what I see as far as a social media post. You see what I'm saying? So they all have their place in time, or where they're supposed to be, or in their season. But I'm creating it now,
Ooh, I hear you,
and then
Lord.
eventually it'll be whatever it's supposed to be.
Mm.
So it's going to be okay. I don't know to the magnitude. And every time when people look at me, they're like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh," and I don't even know, to be honest. I just know I want to be diligent. I want to listen, and I get thrown off too. I do. That's why I mentioned all that stuff I said about outside of the will of God, and but then His grace and all of that stuff, and how all things are going to work together. There have been instances I went to, so represent 646 Entertainment, right? Went to Atlantic Records in 2018. Tell me why my room number was 646. And I said, okay, all right. Clearly, you've been here before me. You know. So I prayed and I said, well, God, the one thing that I want is I don't want to be knocked down for my lack of personality. I had everything, but it was about the numbers. But you know what? I still succeeded because I was just like, the reason why I went to A&M and didn't get it that time and they passed was because of my lack of engagement. I've got that now. So now that I have that, to be honest, whether it's a label or not, nobody can tell me whatever it's supposed to be because I'm connected with you two right here. You guys are connected with whomever else is going to watch that, and then so on and so forth, and word of mouth. So what's real and what's true will always resonate and it will always be, right? So it doesn't matter if you did over here or if you didn't back then. What's real, it's always going to do whatever it's going to do. So you have to show up, drink your tea or whatever you do, show up, and then just be. And that's where the freedom comes. That's what we're talking about. When we're doing music, you don't have, what do I have to think about when the music's on? We all in here listening to music. Let's just be in this timeless place where we can just sit.
Key, you know it was a reason that you ended up co-hosting tonight, right?
It's a reason in everything. You know, I'm a firm believer in that.
But her initial sermon gonna be fire. Sermon is gonna be fire.
Oh yeah.
I feel it. Let's get into this next video.
This is great, right? You want to get to the next song? No? Yes?
Yeah, we're gonna get into this next video because I want you to introduce this next video, Tiff.
The next video and my first debut song for Tiffany Jaye is called Work For It. And basically the chorus says, tell me what you want, make you work for it. And that's pretty much it. You say what you want to do into, you know, the atmosphere, and then it has to, whether it's people, places, things, you know, it has to work for you. But, you know, and it's mainly with a guy, you know, situation, but you can take it with it. Let's go. Let's watch it.
By Tiffany Jaye. Let's go.
Stare into these pretty brown eyes, but be careful to get you caught up. Tell me if you will and are you able, like a stallion coming out the stable. If you're looking for me, be over here waiting for your love. If you wanna be free, come over here, let me show you something. Come, baby. Come, let me work your body, babe. With me, I'll give you the pleasure plus. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Work for it, work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Work for it, work for it. I've got a whole lot to offer. You got a whole lot to see. Take what I give like an offering. What benefits you won't believe. I'm feeling animalistic. Appetite cannot be tamed. I'm always good for a craving. Let's try to savor the taste. If you're looking for me, be over here waiting for your love. If you wanna be free, come over here, let me show you something. Come, baby. Come, let me work your body, babe. With me, I'll give you the pleasure plus. I made you do things for me so hard you can't breathe. Make these walls sweat, you see. Make you sweat and breathe. Tell me what you want, make you work for what you want. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Work for it, work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Work for it, work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it. Tell me what you want, make you work for it.
I'm glad you like it.
You know the thing that I loved about that video?
What?
There's a lot of sexiness in that video without being overly, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny that you said that because that's one of the ones that I watched earlier, and that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I like it.
You know, we're in this. I ain't gonna mention names, but y'all know some of the female artists that we have out here, and
Yeah.
you know, I look at some of these videos, and I'm like, does it have to borderline on?
You know, yeah.
Does it have to borderline on porn in order for you to get the visual across? And to me, that was the perfect balance of showing, you know, how sexy of a woman Tiffany Jaye is without, you know what I mean? And in this industry where, you know,
Sex sells, basically. That's what it is.
no, yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes I feel like it's hard for women, you know, to kind of find that balance. And I think that video was a perfect example of finding that balance. Was that intentional? Obviously it was.
No, that wasn't intentional. It was just me again being myself.
Yeah.
I know what I like about me and what I am okay with showing, and what my strengths are when it comes to, like, you know, what I'm trying to visually display. So I thought that that was good. Also, you know, it was about, okay, what do I have in my closet to wear? This is what we're wearing.
I know that's right. We're not going shopping. We're not going shopping.
So
Salute to whoever produced that track. I love that.
You said who?
I said shout to the producer.
Oh yeah. Dang, his name slips my mind. I have to. We were in when we did that.
We gonna Dr. Dre. We're gonna say Dr.
Oh, okay. We were in Atlanta when we did that though, and it was great. I enjoyed it. It was a great experience, a great process, and I think that's when it was like a mini boot camp that I was doing to learn about, like, okay, the tools that you need to be an artist as far as how to apply your makeup, what to wear for your body type. This is the type of music, you know, and some choreography and things like that. So that was like my first, you know, actually being taught a few things. And then explaining to me one-on-one, this is what you need to do. So everything from there, now that I have the basics, I can now watch and see, okay, she said this, I'm gonna work on that, I'm gonna tweak this, I'm gonna do this. And next thing you know, now you're naturally looking the part because you've been doing your homework. And sometimes all it is you gotta be taught. And that's it.
Yeah. And who works with you in putting these visuals together? Because I feel like, you know, these videos that we watch, they've been well shot. They've been well edited. They've been well produced. Who works with you in putting these together?
Again, it's pretty much me, myself, and I. So work for it. Literally, it was a Sunday. I went to work. I got up with the guy that I was told was a great videographer. I had already paid him at least a month out, and we were waiting for the perfect day. And when I saw some of his work, I was like, okay, cool. Same thing like for the doctor. I can trust you. All I need to do is be in front of the camera. And then I just need to look at the camera to adjust myself. And that's pretty much how that went. We shot it for 3 hours, looked at the takes, maybe did them 1, 2, 3 times. And I did the scouting as far as where's the location going to be. And that was it. And it was done. He said he'd get it back to me in a week. I said, cool. And I looking at the shot, I was like, that's exactly what I want. It's what I want to, want to see. So for that, I was able to pay someone to take care of that. For the Calling Me video, I had to bring somebody in and I had to kind of direct her. This is the shot that I want. It's a lot harder when you're doing it that way because you can't be on both sides of the camera to just allow someone to do that. But I showed her the shots that I wanted, what I was looking for. So pretty much I have like 90% if I wasn't, really doing it myself. You either pay for it to relinquish the control, or you're going to have to pay for it and invest, if you need to.
Yeah.
So it just comes with the times and where you are financially. But I pretty much had a hand on it. Like I said, the choreography that you saw and work for it was done in Atlanta. So I just took that, the chorus is really the only choreography. Other than that, that's just me dancing and being free. And then just, okay, there's a pole here. How can you work the pole to make it, look like this is amazing? And then that's him with his eye. Let me shoot it here. that kind of stuff. So it's two great minds coming together, knowing what they're doing, and it doesn't take long. You don't have to talk about it. Now, if there's more, if we have like, dancers and things like that, then it takes more to do. But other than that, when it's by myself, it's not as difficult. Now, I would love to do it on a grander scale, and then we have to bring more minds in. But we're not saying we're not there yet. But when we get there, yes, it will. Other people need to be involved.
Yeah, you'll know when the time is necessary.
For sure.
So, what's on deck? I know that you said you have a performance coming up in November, but is there anything else that you're working on, music-wise?
I have stuff that's already.
Because you do a lot. And Key, this is the funny part. So let me tell this story real quick, Tiff. This we had met like I said on one of the Sip and Sings, and I reached out to her, and I think the first couple of times we had communicated was through DM. The first time that we talked, like on a video chat, it was like she was at work and she was framing paintings, and I was like, "That's the last thing
You would have thought I would be doing."
She was literally in a shop and she was putting frame, and I was like, "Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy."
A lot of fun.
But apparently she's like the bomb at it, Key. So if you ever need a painting framed professionally and done like this one wasn't, because of Tiff, I told you that's the one that I was telling you had the little, and you can't see it unless you look at it closely, of course. But
I think this one back here.
I actually may need that done.
So this ain't nothing but an image, and
yeah.
That one's
She does it all, man. She's the true Renaissance woman. But okay, go ahead. Tell us what you have coming up next.
I have some music that's on deck. We need to sit down and figure out, how, when, if, to release it. And then November, I'm going to be performing with this live band in Albany, Georgia at the Northside Lounge. December should be, and that'll be like a 30-minute set. So I have to come up with some covers that I want to do, and I may get to learn one of my songs. We'll see. December is going to be Texas Fleet Week, and then I'll probably be doing some dancing again. And that's all I have for now. But in the interim, we're trying to figure out what's the next song. Like let's say there's like 5 that I have that are in a vault. There's more than that, but there's 5 that I initially want to put out. We have to, like, what I would love to do is finish mixing, mastering, and let's put out a concept or a visual. And then the business stuff is pretty simple. That'll take like, less than a day to do, put your stuff out and code it, et cetera, et cetera. But you just have to have a plan in place for what you want to do with it. And so I haven't really had the time to do that yet. But yeah, that's what I want to do. Sometimes you can put music out and then just maybe sit. There was some video I saw. This girl was on a beach playing her guitar or something, and that was the video. And I said it could be as simple as that. You just want to have some kind of representation of it. So, I could do that. We'll see.
Shout out to the Fleet DJs. I'm hoping to make it to Texas in December. I really am.
Hopefully.
I really am. It's going to be kind of hard because I know I got some stuff going on, but I'm really hoping to make it. I've been trying to make it out to one of their conferences for a couple of years, and it always seems to fall at a time when I can't make it. So when they mentioned that last week, what was that, Thursday, when we were on the Sip and Sing, I really need to try to make. Maybe we can get Key on a Sip and Sing. This revelation.
Oh Lord, there he goes. What is a Sip and Sing?
So a Sip and Sing is a virtual quarterly event that's put on by a girl named T Quest and DJ Il Nino. And you basically go and you sign up and then you show up and you literally sing.
That's it.
Like literally, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. You're just singing for some very influential people. Tastemakers, producers, DJs, some people that got Key. Just had a revelation. I'm gonna get Key on the next one. I mean, Tiff does most of them. I think she's been on. I think I've seen.
Just a few.
Yeah, I think I've seen you on like two or three now. It's really just a. It's really just and because it's virtual, you're literally just singing to yourself. You can really
Right,
just
right.
have that thought process that you're singing to yourself. But it's been some amazing talent that has come across. Shout out to T Quest and DJ El Nino for putting that on. I would love to. Yeah, Key. Key. When that next one come around, it's quarterly, so the next one will be probably in December, January ish.
Perhaps probably in the next 4 months.
Now, let me ask you this: do they always want you to do original music on that one, or are you allowed to?
I don't think you have to, but I think the point is showcasing your vocals. You know what I mean? So 2 minutes to put down. It will be great because if that's what you're trying to do, that's the point.
Right.
Yeah. We're gonna get Key. We're gonna get Key. She taking notes. She taking notes, so I know she's interested. Look at it. She's taking notes. Tiff,
I'm gonna get you. Oh, I'm gonna get you. You forget. Look, she out of state. I know where to find you. I'm gonna get you.
that's fine. I'll see you at praise and worship rehearsal Friday. Tiffany, this has been so much fun, man. And the crazy part about it is I feel like I could talk to you for like another 2 hours. And it would be so, we may have to come back and do a part two down the line, maybe when you have some, new music and everything ready to go. But I just want you to leave us with just some words of encouragement. You thought I was going to tell you to sing. I don't want you to sing. I want you to leave us because like you're I don't think you realize how inspirational you are to people. I don't think you realize how you're really touching people through your transparency and the things that you're going through. So a minute or so, just take a minute to just like really give some words of inspiration. And then after that, let us know how we can follow you on social media so we can follow this amazing movement.
Let's see. Maybe it doesn't matter who you are. If you're an artist or you're just somebody that's trying to grow up. I would say.
I like that.
That was so sweet the way she said that. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's real. So regardless of who you are and what you want to do in life, because we all come from different backgrounds, right? Some really, really bad ones. I hope and pray that you find somebody that you can trust, that you can be 100% vulnerable to and with, so that when you have your emotional, explosive days, you can go to that person. Life is very, very hard. I don't want to say it like that so that it becomes hard. I don't want to say that. I don't want to speak that. But life can be very challenging. And sometimes when you are by yourself, I know we like to isolate ourselves because you don't want nobody to look at you and know, whatever. But I've been pretty blessed to have some people in my corner. And sometimes all you got to do is say, hey, I need help. Like my mom raised me to be very strong and do a lot of things on my own. So I neglected myself a lot, and that's the other thing that I learned from the surgery. There's some things that you can't neglect now. Like you really have to listen to your body. So I am learning to be present, to be honest with what's going on with me. And so I encourage you to do that. Try your best not to be distracted. You may get distracted, and it's okay, but don't beat yourself up in the process. People are going to be people. You can't control people. You can't control people. You can't control people. When you try to control people, you're being manipulative, and that is, for us believers, that's not of God. And God doesn't even infringe upon our free will. You know what I mean? So what I got from Pinocchio, when Pinocchio was about to leave, and Geppetto was like holding his hand, he's holding his hand and staring at you. I'm sure if you're a parent, like he's holding your child's hand and you waiting. Like, I know you're about to leave my presence, but I hope and trust that you're going to be able to come back to me. And that's the way that I saw that God was looking at us. Every single day when He allows you to wake up, He's trusting. Are you going to be able to, put forth my glory and my best effort? And then you go out into the world, and He's always just there waiting for you, just waiting for you. So that's how I look at it. Um, I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I want to say? Any long lasting words? Life is going to be okay. Trust yourself. Um, if you can smile or if you can laugh, then it was a good day. I think when my granddad died this year, I've never felt every emotion in one day. You're mad, angry, sad, happy, like really happy, really mad, really sad, like all in one day. And all that means is you're human. That's pretty much what it means. And everything is working like it's supposed to. Right? It's when when those things you don't have a control over it, where you really got to check yourself and make sure that you're not going off the deep end. So it's okay to be human. It's okay to be human. It's okay to cry. It's okay to not be okay, as you were saying. And you got to be able to call on somebody when it's like a 911 situation. And don't wait too long for that. And everybody is not guaranteed to be your friend. Everyone, as there are wolves in sheep clothing that are out there. They're out there, and you don't even have to be doing anything. They're out there because they just trying to. That's what they do. And if you get got, it's okay. It doesn't. It's not necessarily a reflection on you, but they had a little one up on you that you just wasn't too keen to. And even if you was, it's okay. There's a void that you had that you got to work on, right? So, uh, live life, be free. I pray for life, love, health, and strength every single day. Make sure that you are speaking positive things because everything that you speak is pretty much like it's gonna come true in some way, shape, or form. So watch your words. Watch how you speak to your children. If you're a parent, watch how you speak to each other. Watch how you speak to yourself. And,
Yes.
let's see.
I did not ask you to come up here tonight and step all on my toes the way that you have throughout this show, but I definitely appreciate and receive
Mm,
and receive.
that.
And this is where you can find Tiffany. All things Tiffany Jaye are at MissTiffanyJ.com or MSTIFFANYJAYE. That's Miss Tiffany J, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, etc., etc. So that's where you can find stuff. And like follow me. You can DM. We could talk. I do the best I can to stay engaged. But follow the journey, and we will walk it together.
I can't wait to see some more of the journey. I think the journey is going to be amazing. I salute you, sis. I give you all of the everything that you deserve for being an amazing artist. Yeah, my toes hurt right now because you don't step.
Really?
You stepped on my toes a couple of times this evening, and even in that last part that you just did, yeah, my toes hurting a little bit. You didn't tell me I had to wear steel toes tonight, but it's fine.
I didn't know. I was just.
I appreciate that. Like received.
Okay.
That's why I say you never know who's listening. You never know who needs to hear. So yeah, received.
All right.
Key, if there's anything that spoke to you, I hope you receive it as well. And if you want to give some final comments before we close out, Key.
I just want to say, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for allowing the spirit to lead. Thank you for your transparency, because oftentimes we tend to hold back, even when, we get that gentle nudge or not so gentle nudge, we tend to hold back. And so, like Antoine was saying, I don't really consider it toes being stepped on. I consider it as a message that needed to be heard. And not just for the two of us, not just for the three of us, but for whoever else is going to be able to tune into this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I got my notes. So and I'm just adding something else on to the 5011 things that I got, but it's all good because I believe that if he gives it to you, then he will give you all power and strength to get it done.
Absolutely.
This is
So
real.
God bless, and I look forward to following you along on your journey. About to follow the pages right now. Definitely will be tuning into the podcast because I'm telling you, I almost went down a rabbit hole and was late coming on here because I started listening to the podcast. So
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
amazing.
'Cause I sometimes feel like don't nobody listen. I said if I ain't doing this for nobody else, it's gonna be for me for when I listen to it. So I can,
Oh,
yeah.
sis, come on now. Come on now.
And
Sometimes
that alone on the podcast.
Oh my god. I took it off my. I took it off my. I took it off my Instagram profile because I was like, let me. I don't know if I'm. I had it on there and I took it off because I was like, I gotta stay positive. But I left. It's on the podcast. But yeah, that yeah.
I don't even have to elaborate, y'all. Check out her podcast for sure. Check out all the things, but definitely check out the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
I forgot to give a shout out to my sis Alenia Renee, my normal Monday co-host. Prayers to her and her husband as they're going through a situation where someone transitioned as well, and that's why she's not here tonight. Missed you, sis, but I know that you're here in spirit. Love you to life. Also, just real quick, man, continue to follow Access Granted on all of our social media platforms, this YouTube channel and everything. This Saturday, we will be at the Hoyt Cinemas at 1591 West Nursery Road for the premiere of Stripped from Insanity. I'm actually going to have the cast as well as the writer and director on a special show of Access Granted on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. But I'm definitely looking forward to hitting the red carpet. You know, I might have to clean up a little bit and throw in a little, I had to, just a little something. But, shout out to Cola Durham. She's the creator of the movie. She's the writer. She's the producer and all of that stuff. And from what I've seen, this movie, man, is kind of it's a short film, but it hits home real hard in a very short amount of time. There's going to be 2 showings. One is going to be at 5. One is going to be at 7. I'll be at the 7 o'clock one if y'all want to come and hang out with me. But definitely looking forward to that, man. So with that being said, Tiffany, again, thank you so much. Love you to life. Sis, Key, thank you for sitting in.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that because you might need to sit in more often on some stuff. But I just thank you for, being available. And I love watching all of the stuff that you're doing, which is why I knew that it would be okay to have you up here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very careful with those that I choose to allow to, I'm not going to say allow, to those that I ask to sit in here with me because this is something that I take very seriously. So it was a no-brainer. When you told me, yeah, just let me know I'm available, it was like, bam, I had already started thinking about that. So just thank you for, your willingness and, dealing with dealing with me, Sean, and, his socks and all of that other stuff. But no, I definitely appreciate you, sis. Thanks to everybody that was able to tune in on YouTube. As soon as I get off here, me and Facebook will have a talk because I feel like I've been. But I will see you guys on Thursday. Tiffany, if you haven't already this week, get out there and do what you're supposed to be doing. Accountability partner.
Yes.
I'm talking about get out there, get on the road. Everybody have a blessed week. Again, our thoughts and prayers out to Kendra, Otis, and the family. Miss Joyce, we love you. We miss you. And I promise you, we're going to send you home in style for this homegoing celebration. Can't wait till we get the date. With that being said, everybody, we love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you guys next week. Access Granted.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.